What's up, everybody? Raging Diecast here with a video. This one is to all of my people who are coming into the Hot Wheels game. You just started out. You don't know a whole lot about what's going on. Don't you worry. Old Raging right here. I'm going to have a complete guide for beginners. We are going to be going all the way from main lines up to convention cars. Tell you everything you need to go. Be a whole complete beginner's guide. Beginners 101 to Hot Wheels. Let's dive into the video. To start things off, we are going to start with the very basic of basics. This is what we call a mainline. This is what you go into the store, you find this car, it's $1.19 or however much it costs. It's the cheap Hot Wheel that you see sitting on the peg. It's called a mainline. Now, they do different cases throughout the year on these. There's 15 basically different case codes. A through Q, they do skip I and O. They skip those. But A through Q is your case codes, and that will be very important when we get to a later segment. But basically, in these case codes, they release specific cars. So A has specific cars that are in case A. Then there's specific cars in case B, C, so on and so forth. This is your typical mainline. This is your car you pay $1 for. And no hard feelings. It's cheap. It's really where everyone starts. I will say on these, be careful. Don't go overboard. You may end up with a bunch of cars that maybe you don't like. When I started out, I grabbed everything that was a real car. As long as it wasn't a fantasy car, if it was a real car you see on the road, I would grab it. I did end up with a lot of cars I did not want or like. And so just be thoughtful when you start out collecting. You can go overboard really quick is what I'm saying. So here you have your basic mainline, and there's a couple of things. Now this one is a little bit special, or a little bit different, I should say, because it does have this factory sealed sticker right here. Now you're not going to find that in store. You're not going to see the factory sealed sticker in store. Basically what that factory sealed sticker signifies is Mattel, every year, beginning of the year, Mattel will release something that they call the master set. And what that master set is every car from the previous year. So this master set came out in 2025. It costs like $600, and you can get every mainline and mail-in that was released in 2024. So for 2024, they only made 1,250 master sets. So this car right here, even though it is your basic mainline, because it has this sticker right there, it did come from a master set. So technically, this one would be one of 1,250. There's varying opinions on that. I'm not going to get into that. I'm just explaining to you why this one has the sticker and why you won't see it in store. A couple of key points here with the mainline is, well, we're going to go over a few main lines, but on this one right here, this is a US card. So what that means is that is here in the US. It is not sold internationally. You can tell a couple of ways that this is a US card. The first way right out the gate is it has this guaranteed for life seal on that. Only US cards are going to have that guaranteed for life seal on the front of the card. The other way that you're going to be able to tell is when you look on the back. Let's get it in there. When you look on the back of the card, there is a case code here. So if you look at this one, you can see M, that M right at the end there. What that's saying right there is that this came from M case. And that is important when you're looking for treasure hunts and super treasure hunts, which we will get into later in this video. On international cards, they do not have that M or a letter at the end of the kind of back there. I will show you some of those as we move on. But again, this is just your very, very basic mainline. So what we are looking at here looks like your normal car. Looks like it would be a car on the pegs at Walmart or Target for the $1.19, and that very well may be the case. But you'll notice up here, it does not have that guaranteed for life seal. So what we are looking at here is we are looking at a long card international. Now, this one, I know, like Safeway, some stores get international cases. I'm not sure why. For me personally, it seems like there are less supers in international cases than there are in US cases. That's from my experience. I've opened up tons of both US cases and international. It seems like supers are way less common in the international cases than they are in the US cases. I'm not sure exactly why. That's what it seemed like for me. I know others have expressed kind of the same opinion that for whatever reason, it seems like just hitting a super on an international case is not as common as hitting it on a US case. So we are looking at the long card international here. Now, as I said, there is not that letter at the end that denotes which case this is. So if you come across an international case in the store, you kind of have to guess what case you're looking at so you know which treasure hunt you're looking at, so you know which super you're looking for. And how you do that is by based off of the cars that are out with it. You can kind of get a gist of what case is out there. Okay, these cars came in this case and also that case. So we might be looking at B and C. So it kind of narrows down your search if you're looking for a treasure hunt or if you're looking for a super, what those might be. It kind of gives you an idea. So this is what we would call a long card international. Here we have a short international card. Now, again, you can still find them here in the US. I found them here in the US. There's certain stores that just tend to have them. I'm not sure what their contract is with Mattel or why they get international versus US or why they end up with short cards. I don't have the answers for that, but this would be a short card international. Now, when you're talking for value here in the US, short cards are obviously more rare. You're mainly going to be seeing those long US cards. When you're talking about supers and treasure hunts and things of that nature, depending on the car, if you have a short card super and you have a long card super, generally speaking, the short card is going to have more value than the long card. And that's just because it's going to be more rare here in the US. Could be different other places. I can't speak for England or the UK or wherever. I can only speak for here in the US. And so shorties or short international cards are going to tend to bring more value on supers, on treasure hunts, when even though it's the exact same card, just because having the short card here in the US is more rare. Next on the list here, we have a Zamac. Now, this is still a mainline, still a car you pay $1.19 or $1.17, however much they are. You still get the case code on the back. Still have that case code back there. But this one is a little bit different. It's not just a normal mainline. It cannot be found in every store. So what a Zamac is this is a store exclusive, and Zamacs are specifically store exclusives for Walmart. So anytime you see a Zamac, you're going to be at a Walmart. Sometimes they end up other places, but generally speaking, a Zamac is a Walmart exclusive car. So this is a specific color. This Zamac is basically unpainted, but it has the tampo still. This car you would only find at Walmart, so it is a store exclusive. So you can't get this car everywhere. You cannot get this at Dollar Tree or Dollar General or Target. You would only be able to find this car at a Walmart when the case drops. Now, unlike the Zamac, this is a store exclusive, but it doesn't give you a fancy name. So Walmart, their store exclusives are Zamacs. Target, their store exclusives are Red Editions. There are other store exclusives that aren't identified by basically on the card as a Red Edition or a Zamac. And that's what we have here. This is a Dollar Tree exclusive Jaguar. And the only thing that makes this different is the colorway. Just like the other ones, the Zamac, it's unpainted and has the deco still. What makes these other store exclusives different is the color of them. So you'll have a Kroger store exclusive. You'll have a Family Dollar, a Dollar Tree, a Dollar General, a Walgreens. There used to be Best Buy store exclusives. And that's a car that's out there for that year that they just release in a different color specific for that store exclusive. So that is what we are looking at here. We are looking at a Dollar Tree store exclusive Jaguar. So on this car, you're not going to find it at Walmart. You're not going to find it at Target. You will only find this car in this colorway at a Dollar Tree. Now we are going to start diving into more of the fun stuff. Let's go. Now, looking at this car, you might think, hey, this looks like a normal car that you buy for $1.19. And you're right, it is, except for the fact this is a treasure hunt. So it is still up on the pegs with every other car that costs $1.19. This is a treasure hunt though. And so if we take a look at this car here, we'll look at the back of the case. This is a Q case, and I believe it was 2023 for this one, 2023 Q. So this is a Q case, and the reason that's important, when you walk up to the peg, say you pull this off and you look, say, oh, what am I looking for? Oh, Q case. If you go to a website, it's hwtreasure.com. Again, it's hwtreasure.com. You can click on the year you're looking for. You can click on, I'm looking for a treasure hunt, I'm looking for super, and it'll tell you, okay, if you're looking at Q case, this is your treasure hunt, this is your super. If you're looking at A case, this is your treasure hunt, this is your super. So that is why it's starting to become important for you to know what case you're looking at. Because then you know you can figure out, am I looking for this treasure hunt? Am I looking for this super? And then you can keep kind of a better eye out. Now here on this treasure hunt, how you know it's a treasure hunt is a couple of ways. One, there is a circle with a flame on it somewhere on the car. And then I will show you on the back of the card, well, the part you can't see, I'll show you. There is also a circle with a flame. So on this one in particular here, we are going to be looking right back at that back quarter panel there. Right there. You see that circle with the flame? That means it's a treasure hunt. So if that's somewhere on the car, you got yourself a treasure hunt. Congratulations. Some of the earlier cars had that symbol. Some of your, '07 or whatever, they just threw that symbol on some cars back in the day. So for older stuff, make sure you do your research. It may not be a treasure hunt, but anything in this day and age that you're going to see in store out hunting, if it has that emblem, you got yourself a treasure hunt. The other way you can check is you can look up in the card here, and you can see that gray circle with the flame on the card behind the car there. So this is a US card. So on top of having the gray circle with the flame, it has like some lettering. Congratulations. This means you got yourself a treasure hunt type deal. If it's an international card, it won't have the writing. It'll just have that gray circle and the flame on the card behind the card. You can tilt it up and see it back in there. So that's another way you can check. One, you check here, okay, treasure hunt. You check on the card. All right, looks like a treasure hunt. We got ourselves a treasure hunt. Congratulations on the find. Once you find your first treasure hunt, the next thing you are looking for is your super treasure hunt. Now, these cars tend to have quite a bit more value than just a regular treasure hunt. They, as you can tell on this one is very shiny. Another thing that's different about this car is it has rubber tires. Obviously, all the $1.19 cars are going to have plastic wheels, except for your super treasure hunts, which you see right here, that does have rubber tires or real rider tires on it. Now, this, I kind of like the first car I showed you earlier. It's the same car, and there's not a super treasure hunt in every case. I estimate that around maybe 1 in 10 cases have a super treasure hunt in it. So what you would get if you don't have a super, if you don't find a super treasure hunt, you would find the mainline, and that's that guy right there. So this is the normal mainline, plastic wheels, nothing special about it. Again, 9 times out of 10, that would be what you would find when you open a case or you look at the pegs. But in that off chance you do have some extraordinary luck and find a super treasure hunt, it's going to have Spectra Flame paint. What that means is that paint is going to be pretty shiny. It's going to be shinier it's pretty much going to be shinier than most every car on the pegs. It's going to have those rubber tires. So the tires, as you can see, there's the difference there. We got kind of more of a rim versus kind of like a plastic tire. And then what's going to really set the super treasure hunt apart is somewhere on the car, just like how the treasure hunt had the circle and the flame, somewhere on the super treasure hunt, there is going to be the letters TH. The TH stands for treasure hunt, even though it's a super. And here on this card, you can see that TH right there where the license plate is. And it's different for every car. It's in a different spot. But on this car, that is where the TH is. So that TH right there is signifying that this is a super treasure hunt. And then we can take a look at the bottom of the car here. Rubber tires on that sucker right there. And then also on this one, let me see if I can show you. There's not a gray circle and flame, it's gold. So when you find a super treasure hunt, it's no longer the gray circle with the flame there. It is the gold circle and flame emblem on the card behind the car there. And then, so again, guys, you're looking for that TH. You're looking for those rubber tires. And then you're looking for that gold flame emblem behind the car on that card right there. And you can see it right there, that gold flame. And so that's how you know you've come across a super treasure hunt. A lot of guys chase these, and your collecting is going to evolve and develop and change. You may just start out collecting cars you like. You don't care if they're mainlines, and then you evolve, and then you move into something else. A lot of guys chase these super treasure hunts. They are hard to find. It is really a rush when you do find one, because you could spend weeks, months, whatever, chasing it, and then when you finally get that first one, it's there's nothing better in the world. It's like, I finally did it. There it is. I've got my first one. Again, guys, these are way more rare. On the treasure hunt side of things, it seems like there's pretty much one in every case for a treasure hunt. But again, on the super treasure hunt, I would estimate there's only a super treasure hunt in about one every 10 cases. So most of the time, if you get the ability to crack the case, say a worker says, hey, I got this case of Hot Wheels, do you want to take a look? Per almost every time, the super is going to be on the bottom of the case. So if you are chasing that super treasure hunt, my go-to was always crack the bottom first. I have found them in the top of the cases. It's just more rare. Most of the time, the super treasure hunt is going to be on the bottom. So like for this case, this M case here, if they handed you an M case and it would say on the box, there would be a code and you would see the letter M, you crack the bottom of the case, you're looking for one of two things, and there's only one of these typically in the case. You either get one regular mainline or you get one super treasure hunt. That's typically how it goes. You could see some duplicates in there. Always check the top if you don't see the car in the bottom. But generally speaking, there's just going to be one of these. It's either going to be the regular mainline or it's going to be the super treasure hunt. So if you get the mainline, still check the top, see if there's a super up there. It's happened before. Stranger things have happened. But odds are you're probably just going to get a mainline. And then if you crack the case and you see something really shiny and it's catching your eye, you probably got yourself a super. All right, I had to get a little bit funky to fit this in the shot. But what we are looking at here, and I'll just briefly touch on this, is a 5-pack of Hot Wheels. There's different packs. There's 5 packs, 8 packs, I believe, maybe 10 packs now, 20 packs. There are different packs of Hot Wheels. And if you're one of those collectors that have said, I only want to chase, let's say you only want to chase the 83 Silverado, the square body truck, and you want to try to get every single one of those 83s out there. Well, that's an awesome thing to do. I only collect dots and 510s. So I totally know the thrill of chasing that one specific casting that's just your favorite car in the whole wide world. The reason I bring this case up, the 5-pack and the different packs, is because sometimes there are exclusive cars that you can only get if you buy the 5-pack. In this case, I don't know about the rest, but I do know if you want that Silverado, if you want that green Silverado with the flames, you have to get it from a 5-pack. This is not something that's ever been carded as just a single car. This is something that they released as a 5-pack exclusive. So if you're trying to chase every single 83 Silverado out there, you may have to buy the multi-packs with the exclusive cars. There may be exclusive cars in there, just like in this one with that 83 Silverado. So that is something to consider as well. Sometimes these multi-packs, whether it's a 5-pack, a 20-pack, whatever, sometimes they have exclusive cars that you can only buy if you buy the multi-pack. What we are looking in here is what's called a mail-in car. Some people call them RLCs. They're not RLCs. They are mail-in cars. It's a little bit differently. How you get one of these cars, and this one's factory sealed. Most of the time you're not getting a factory sealed one. But how you get these cars is stores will run a promotion. And what that promotion is if you spend 20 bucks or more, or you buy 20 cars or whatever, you can take those card backs as well as the receipt, and you can mail that into Mattel along with some money. And what they will do is they will in turn send you one of these collector edition mail-in cars. Now, different stores have different promos for different cars. So this Sylvia you could only get, I believe, I could be wrong, I believe it was a Dollar General promotion. But what I'm saying is you can't do this promotion by buying cars at Target and doing that. You have to buy it where the promotion is going on. They do run at different times. I know Kroger runs them, Walmart runs them, Target runs them. I believe again this one might be a Dollar General. But again, you buy those cars, I believe it's 20 bucks. They may have changed, who knows, with inflation. I know the price of RLCs have gone up, but you buy those cards, you send it in with some money, and then in return, they will send you one of these mail-in cars. That is, it's pretty cool. Not a lot of people do that. So these can be somewhat exclusive, and also they have rubber tires. They're a premium car, Spectra Flame paint. They look great, and it's kind of the first step in getting into the collector style of cars. What we are looking at here, this is obviously a premium. This is an older premium. It says Hot Wheels Premium up here. These are going to be your $7 or $8 cars. They come with the rubber tires, generally have metal bases, generally have some more weight to them. Also, most of the time are going to have more details, headlights, taillights, whatever. Now, we're going to go over a couple of premiums. This comes from pop culture. And the reason I bring that up is because you have your pop culture premiums and then you have your car culture premiums. And there is a main specific difference on that. In your pop culture one, it's going to be your Fast and your Furious, your Beatles cars, your Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, whatever. Those are all releasing in the pop culture. We have the Back to the Future Toyota truck, the Jaws Blazer. That is all pop culture. Now, in these pop culture cars, there is never going to be a premium chase. And we're going to get into premium chases, what that is. But a lot of people, they'll look at premiums and they're new and they're like, oh, I gotta find the chase. Well, if it's a pop culture set, Fast and Furious, something like that, if it doesn't say car culture on it, there's not going to be a chase. Don't bother looking. Get the cars you like, but there won't be a chase in the pop culture sets. So no sense in looking for them and chasing them because they simply won't be there. Cool cars. I really like this Nissan Fairlady Z. This is the Fast Rewind. So basically they remade the Fast and Furious cars as older cars. So this would be I believe the 350Z from, I think it's Tokyo Drift, but they made it into a Fairlady Z with the same tampos. Anyways, this is a pop culture release, not to be confused with the car culture release. Again, pop culture will not have premium chases. You're asking, well, what is a premium chase? Have no fear. We'll get into it. We are looking at a car culture. This is not a chase. This is just a car from the car culture. But you can see up here, it says car culture with the car culture seal. Still Hot Wheels Premium. This one is number 3 out of 5. Make sure you note that. This is the Datsun King Cab Baja Custom from the Terra Trek series. In that series, there's a bunch of trucks. Now, this is a car culture. So on this one, you would be looking for a premium chase. What a premium chase is they're kind of rare, like the Super Treasure Hunt. It's basically kind of like a super treasure hunt of the premium side of things. And most of the time, I used to be able to say all the time, but they just released one that was not black. But most of the time, your premium chases, they are going to be kind of black in color. And then there's going to be a difference here in the number. And what you will be looking at on the premium chase, again, this is the exact same car, same deco, everything. But you will notice here we have a 0 out of 5. So that 0 out of 5 on the car culture set and it's black means that we are looking at a premium chase. This is a rarity. You can open up multiple cases, never find a premium chase. Again, just like those super treasure hunts for the main lines. But this is the premium chase. It's black. It's got that 0 out of 5. These have value. Depending on the chase, they can be 30. They could be up to, some are over $300 now. The premium chases, just like super treasure hunts, can have value to them. A lot of collectors like chasing them, trying to get every premium chase that's ever been released. So that is something to look out for. Again, Don't look for a premium chase in the pop culture sets, the Batman cars, the Fast and Furious. There's never going to be a premium chase in those, but look for them in the car culture set. You could potentially stumble across a premium chase. Could be something that's hard to find and has some value. And we're talking value. We're not talking about scalpers trying to make money, but some people like collecting for the value aspect of things. You know, you may not like this Datsun King Cab truck, but you found your first premium chase, and the premium chase is cool to have, and so you take it anyways. And some collectors do that, and that's totally fine. We're not talking about resale here, but people collect for different reasons. People collect the cars they like, which you should always do. Other people collect for the value side of things, saying, oh, I got this much of a collection, or whatever it is. Whatever you're collecting for, I'm just here to try to help get you started, what to look for, get you going. What we are looking at here is a release on the Mattel Creation site. Now, this one in particular is not specifically an RLC. It does cost the same amount. This is $25. You buy this on Mattel Creation site. This one happens to be a collab with Hot Wheels and Wrangler on the Bronco. Basically, this you can go on to mattelcreations.com, go to Hot Wheels collectors. From time to time, they will release pieces in their Mattel Creation side of things that you can buy. This is rubber tires, more detail, collabs, whatever it may be. But you can go ahead there. Now, when we're talking about RLCs or Redline Club or a Redline Club membership, that is different. The RLC or Redline Club, you would have to have a RLC membership or a Redline Club membership. It's very, very cheap. It's $10 a year. And then you can decide on releases when they come out if you want to get it, if you don't want to get it. But that would be for more of your collector items. And we will get into that. But this one here specifically, not really an RLC. You could call it an RLC. But this is a Mattel Creations kind of collab. And so I figured I'd show it off. All right, guys. So here we have a RLC. Now, RLCs generally come in one of two ways. The first way is they come in a blister, kind of like a fancy version of what you would find in the store where there's the card and then it's in the blister. And those generally, well, at least last year, they ran $25 plus tax and shipping. And then the other way RLCs come is they come in an acrylic case. What we're looking at here is this is one of the acrylics. Now, this isn't the typical acrylic that they normally come in. This one was a little bit special. The Wrangler that I showed before is kind of more typical for the acrylics. The acrylics last year ran $30 a piece, so a little bit more, but that's to be expected because the acrylics cost a little bit more. With that being said, this year, the first RLC car they released wasn't an acrylic, and they were charging $37. That's a $7 increase for what we're used to seeing. I don't know if that increase is from the hood and the trunk to open on the car. I don't know if it's, more cost because of more moving parts, or if there has been just an increase in cost for us, if they've just raised the prices. I'm not sure on that. We will kind of get an idea, I think, probably on the next release, what that's going to look like. But again, and for these RLCs, you have to have the RLC membership. That's the $10 membership. It's $10 for a year. It's not very much. But these are the collector's items. Sometimes they're numbered. Most of the times they're not. They've gotten away from the numbers. But these are going to be your collector's pieces, more detailed, opening parts. Sometimes there's Spectra Flame paint on them, like that shiny super paint. Overall, a lot of details. Really, really cool pieces. This is going to be like your higher end Hot Wheels is kind of the RLC game. So yeah, that's RLCs. Next up is also kind of in that RLC category, but a little bit different. Let's talk about NFT. This right here is a redeemable NFT. It's a physical car. So how the NFTs work is it's kind of interesting. There's two different packs that you can buy. The first pack that you can buy is $25. You are not guaranteed a physical redeemable car. So you may end up with just pictures of cars. In the $25 pack, you do have the chance to get the NFTH, which is like the super treasure hunt of the NFT world. Could get lucky on that $25 pull and just pull, the NFTH. You could pull a different redeemable like we're looking at here. This one is not the NFTH, but it's a C210 Skyline, so still a pretty cool car. And it's cool that it's got some almost like some foil on the car. The NFTHs is like a gold foil. They are awesome. The other pack is an $80 pack. And in the $80 pack, you do not have a chance to pull the NFTH, but you do have a chance to pull the Zamac NFT. And the Zamac can only be pulled in the $80 kind of more premium pack. In that $80 premium pack, you are guaranteed a physical redeemable car every time you spend that $80. So you spend 80 bucks, you for sure can end up with a real life Hot Wheel that's redeemable and not just pictures of them. So you would have to decide, well, do I want to gamble, spend the 25 and maybe end up with a redeemable, maybe get that NFTH, or do I want to forego getting that NFTH? Maybe I'm kind of chasing that Zamac. Maybe I just really just want a redeemable NFT. Do I spend the 80 bucks and just make sure it's guaranteed that I get a redeemable car? That's up to you to decide. There's pros and cons of each. Kind of like I just explained, the $25 pack, chance at the NFTH, but you are not guaranteed any redeemable car. You may just end up with pictures of cars. On the $80 pack, you will not get the NFTH. You may end up getting the Zamac, and the pro of that is you will end up with an actual physical car. I'm going to make a whole other video on NFT cars because it's kind of confusing. Like when you're buying the packs and you're opening the packs and then they go to redeem, it's kind of a process. And I think a whole separate video needs to be made on that alone. So the next time they do an NFT drop, I will be sure to be recording, make a video, walk you guys through those steps. You can always message me if there's an NFT drop. You can message me on Instagram at raging_diecast as well. I can try to help walk you through. I really do like these NFT cars. They come with that Spectra Flame paint. They're also pretty limited. Awesome cars. You don't get to pick what you end up with, so you may end up with a car you don't like. I got lucky. I ended up with the Skyline, which is obviously one that I like. And yeah, so in my way of thinking, kind of a gamble. You don't know what you're going to get. You don't know if you're going to get a redeemable car or not. But is it worth it? That's for you to decide. Next up, we are talking about Diecast convention cars. These are conventions that are not sponsored by or put on specifically by Mattel or the people who work with Mattel to put those conventions on. So every kind of like SuperCon Vegas, those conventions where Mattel doesn't have their hand in it, there still may be people from Mattel there. I know this year at SuperCon, I'm going, by the way. So if you see me out there, say hi. This year, I know Brendan Vitasi is going to be out there, some other designers from Mattel, but this isn't a Mattel-specific convention, the Diecast SuperCon in Las Vegas. So on these, you still do get convention cars. This one in particular, very, very nice piece. It's the VIP Gasser, super awesome car, but this is not made or produced by Mattel. This is produced by the convention. Typically what they do, and you can see it here, I'll try to show you. You can see that that's not riveted. That is screwed on the bottom of the car, on the base of the car. So this is not made or produced by Mattel. Typically what they'll do is they'll get very, very good customizers to make the card art or make the car or whatever. There can still be lots of value. I've sold a few of these Diecast convention cars, Las Vegas convention, SuperCon convention cars. I've sold a few of them for over 200 bucks. Just because they're not made or produced by Mattel doesn't mean they're worth any less. It's obviously depending on the convention, depending on the car. But it is important to note that they are not made or produced by Mattel, which we will see on the next car. But if you're going to Vegas, hit me up, say hi. I hear it's a lot of fun. This is going to be my first convention that I go to. In Vegas, there's a lot of brands that help sponsor. I think Jada, Majorette, I think Cartoon will be there. So there will be a lot of Diecast brands at this convention. It's going to be a good time. I'm really excited to see Cartoon's dinner car. They're doing a dinner truck. Looks absolutely amazing. But I just wanted to touch on This is still a convention car. This is actually still a Hot Wheel, but this one in particular is not designed, made, done by Mattel. This is done by like the House of Cars, whether they do it in house, whether they hire Nuclear Minds or another customizer to make the cars. Still awesome cars, great to have them. Still lots of value to be had in them. But that is one difference that when I came into the game, I didn't know. I just heard convention car, thought it was one and the same, and that is not the case. But awesome piece still to have nonetheless. Next up, we have collectors, conventions, or nationals. I kind of look at them as one and the same, and I'll explain them to you or why. So the Hot Wheels Collectors Convention, it's done in LA every single year. And that is it's put on by Mattel. Mattel makes cars for it. There's actually people who own the convention, but Mattel works directly with them. So Mattel produces the cars, everything like that. The Collectors Convention's always in Los Angeles every year. And then there is a Nationals Convention that is in a different spot. It's been in Ohio. I think this year it's going to be in St. Louis, Missouri. And that is also like a Hot Wheels convention where the cars are made and produced by Mattel. Look at this one right here. You can see on the base of this car, it is riveted. So this whole card, everything, look at that number right there. Kind of like you get with the RLCs. This one in particular is 999 out of 6,200. So same exact number styling as the RLCs when they are numbered. This car is totally made by Mattel. This is a Hot Wheels car made by Hot Wheels for the convention, which again, I can't remember the names offhand, but there is a couple. They kind of put it on, and Mattel is there, and they have a hand in it, and Mattel makes the cars and everything like that. So that's going to be your collector's convention in LA, your nationals convention, wherever they have it. Those cars are actual made, produced by Hot Wheels themselves. Awesome pieces to have. Depending on the casting, they can go for good chunks of money. There is a yellow Skyline convention car that is $800. So there can definitely be value. Obviously, the convention pieces are very, very limited. 6,500 is not a lot when you're talking about the hundreds of thousands, if not millions of collectors out there. So you get into these limited, really sought after cars, there can be tons of value there, and you don't want to sleep on them. But that kind of sums up this video. I believe we've kind of covered all bases. Guys, if I missed anything, there's always someone who's going to leave a comment down below. Feel free to do that. I want this to be like a one-stop shop, go over everything. So if I did miss something or you need to correct something, leave that in the comments below. Also, feel free to leave comments. I do try to reply to every single person who leaves a comment. Hit that like. It really, really helps the video when you like my videos. Subscribe. That will help me out a ton. Guys, I hope you find this video very, very helpful, very useful. I hope for the new collectors coming in, gives you insight, gives you kind of a jump start to the collecting game, how everything works, why it's this way, that way, the other way. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love you guys. If there is anyone going through anything troubling, hard in their life, you're going to get through it. It's always going to get better. It always stinking does. Hit up a friend, a family member, somebody. If you don't have anyone, hit me up. I love you guys. We're going to get through life together. You guys are the best. Get those supers. Get those chases. Peace!